again. I'm Raider from the Sentinel Initiative, and I'm here with part 2 of my 6-part Kingdom Hearts theory. This time, we'll be exploring the possibility that Sora has been able to see events that are taking place in a different location and or in the near future. This part uses mainly just the introduction cutscene to the games, and hence a lot of the footage within this video are from these cutscenes. However, I do not have 2.8, so I won't be able to use these opening scenes, but I will still discuss what I found in them. Links will be in the description. Just before we dive into this glimpse of insanity, I want to say that this will involve spoilers for almost, if not all, of the games in the Kingdom Hearts series. Okay, let's get started. Let's go all the way back to Kingdom Hearts 1. The very first words we hear Sora say are, "I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real or not?" This doesn't make much sense at first, but if we look at the series as a whole, it seems to make more sense. At this point, Sora has no idea about the rest of the world, only that there has to be more out there, and then just the seemingly endless ocean around their island. However, these weird thoughts could be glimpses of events appearing elsewhere or in the future during his dreams. The idea actually has support coming from the same opening cutscene. The scene where Riku is taken by the darkness is heavily referenced, almost being directly shown. In the scene, Sora sees Riku standing in the water and runs towards him as a large wave approaches the beach. Riku holds out his hand as Sora tries to reach for it, but is swept away by the force of water. This is almost exactly the same as the later cutscene where Riku is taken by the darkness, the only difference being that it is water instead. This can be explained. To someone that has no idea what the darkness actually is or looks like, I could only assume that water would be a good substitute, as it is also something that is always there but can be dangerous at times, in a similar way to how darkness is portrayed in later games as being something that can be a force for good. Within Sora's mind, he might have just replaced darkness with water, as it was close enough, and he was very familiar with water and the fact that it can wash stuff away in a similar way to darkness. Okay, now I want to jump to the end of the series. Just stay with me here, guys. The Kingdom Hearts 3. More specifically, Remind and the Data boss fights, as well as the Yozora victory ending. So it goes without saying, major spoiler alert. Let's start with the well-known glitch of Kingdom Hearts 3, the Sora's bloodshot gazing eyes key, triggered by attempting to take a selfie during Data Young Xehanort's desperation move. Data Sora's eyes clearly changed to being bloodshot and in the style of the gazing eye as prominent throughout the series, most notably in the Master of Masters Keyblade, or whoever you want to say it actually belongs to. Currently looks here again. This piece is a little flimsy as there is no other occurrence of this particular event, and this is a data reconstruction on Sora, so I can't really call it fact that Sora's actual eyes are linked to the gazing eyes somehow using just this. But there is plenty more evidence to crunch through first. As for the Yozora victory ending, we hear Sora's last words of the game, and they are exactly the same as his first. This suggests to me that Sora might actually be trapped in a loop, fighting Yozora indefinitely despite the outcome of the battle. For Sora it might all be real, but he just can't tell. While for Yozora, it might actually all be a repeated dream or nightmare, depending on how he thinks of it, as he says the exact same line in the defeat cutscene. Now that that's out of the way, let's get back to the opening cutscenes. I'm going to start with the opening cutscene for Birthright Sleep. These could all be events that Sora is witnessing within his dreams. While we don't see every event in game, a lot of them do occur, or at least they do in some form. If Sora actually does have, or always has had, gazing eyes, then it would make sense that he would be able to see these events unfolding due to the involvement of the Master of Masters Keyblade, explaining why some of the events are clearer. Overall, it is the incomprehensible mess, which would be because Sora has no idea that he can actually see these events. To him, it's all just some weird dream. Then we would have Chain of Memories to look at, but there is one glaring issue with this one. Namely, as the name implies, it is focused on memory, with the result being the opening cutscene only containing events from Kingdom Hearts 1. Therefore, I can't actually make any use out of this one. Next up is 358 over 2 days, which is another odd one. Throughout this game, we play as Roxas, not Sora. The opening cutscene, however, is nearly entirely future events. Roxas would never actually see any of these future events, but Sora will be present during most of them, and it is also possible that the ones Sora wouldn't see, he might actually dream of, considering that throughout most of the game, Sora is asleep while Nominee is repairing his memories. And now we come to Kingdom Hearts 2. While most of it is just past events, there is one segment that shows a single future event, showing Roxas arriving in the Station of Awakening. This is most likely something that Sora sees during his sleep, but is also something that Roxas experiences for himself. While not much, it is a small glimpse of the future. Also, the scene showing a transition between Kairi's Kingdom Hearts 1 and her new appearance would have been impossible for either of them to see. An argument against this point carrying any weight is that the gazing eye is not present at this time. However, it can also be argued that this would imply that Sora's ability to see glimpses of the future and events that occur elsewhere is improving to where he can do it without the gazing eye, or it might be that he is seeing some of these events through Roxas' eyes instead. Recoded unfortunately has the exact same issue as Chain of Memories. The whole opening cutscene is made out of past events, so there's nothing to really look at here. Then we have Dream Drop Distance. While it opens with only past events, this one ends with an event that ties into the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3. If my theory is correct, this might be the most distant event Sora ever sees. My reasoning for this is the massive increase in activity from Xehanort, and how close Sora gets to the gazing eye by the end of the game. Once again, I'm sorry for not using any of this cutscene, but I do not possess the means to record it myself. A fragmentary passage, this opening cutscene, once again shows many past events, but many future events also make an appearance, such as Organization 13 and Xehanort's return, completing the setup for Kingdom Hearts 3. It does also show the scene referencing Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora saving her, although it is actually Sora once he gets his new outfit, suggesting that this is something Sora is dreaming of, but is unable to truly put all the pieces together correctly, hence the inconsistencies. Also, I just wanted to add this in as it ties to the previous part. There is a scene in this cutscene that shows Sora's stained glass platform from his Station of Awakening in the sky above the Keyblade graveyard. Then Mickey appears with the Warp Star Trail originating from the stained glass platform. Again, sorry for not having any footage of this cutscene. There will be a link in the description to a corresponding video uploaded by someone else. Next, we would have Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, I'm not actually going to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3 that much because I thought I had stuff. Turns out I made a mistake with that one. The stuff in it isn't as similar to the actual in-game stuff as I thought it was, and so I'm not including it. That's enough about that said, and if I was to go hunting for it, this would just take forever. With that said, I just want to link this back to the previous part of the theory, with the whole idea of Sora's heart going back to a previous version of himself every time he is defeated. This would explain why he's able to see some things maybe that aren't happening around him, the gazing eye, or Roxas. And that's because the heart, when it travels back, takes along a subconscious memory of that events leading up to Sora's defeat. And this is more or less explained through the replicas, with them saying the heart, the form takes after the heart, and stuff like that. And how a replica can have all the memories of the person whose heart is within it, therefore it suggests the memory is stored within the heart, and so forth. The only question there is, how far back can Sora's heart actually travel? And the question I would have originally asked is, can Sora's heart go all the way back from the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 all the way to the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 1, linking together the two start, the beginning and ending of the series, more or less, with the whole statement of, I've been having these weird thoughts lately, like is any of this for real or not? That could be an event where Sora's heart goes all the way from after Yozora to the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3. Could. I'm not going to say it is. That's enough of that said. I'm not going into that can of worms. I've got too much on my plate as it is. So with that said, I'm going to end off the video. This one's been a right pain to do, but thank you very much for sticking around if you've gotten to this bit, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. It really tells me I'm doing something right here, and yeah. That's all I really got to say. Comment, leave your thoughts. I really want to know, do you think I'm onto something here? Or do you think I'm just grabbing on whatever I can to make some hopefully interesting video? Because honestly, at this point, I'm sort of losing it here with this one. It's really starting to hurt doing this, in the sense that the time it takes to do this video is just difficult to manage. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'm Raider, and I will see you guys in the next upload. Until then, goodbye.